Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of Owlet, and welcome to the Season 4 Week 1 game between JCP and Paradise Tempest. My name is Acronator, and I'll be your color caster for tonight. I am joined by Intel on play-by-play and Silent Marine on production. How you feeling tonight, Intel?
Feeling absolutely amazing. I'm very excited to see how both of these teams do tonight, especially because the first match can truly define how a team does for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. This will be their time and place to make a statement, as many Overwatch viewers have just seen for the first night of Owl, which happened just a few hours ago. Some exciting matches there, and we're hoping for another exciting match here tonight with these two teams. Of course, a little bit lower on the ELO scale, but we're all here to just have fun and play some good old Overwatch.
Oh no, yeah, and I'm really excited because we're starting on Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower is one of my favorite maps, absolutely, because I feel like you can play most of every comp in towards this meta. You can run Brawl with Symmetra, you can run Double Bubble on some points, and it really gives you that ability to flex around and have fun.
Definitely, especially when it comes to the DPS picks. As of late, we've been seeing a lot of Symmetra on Control, not just to get out of spawn, but especially on maps like Control Center or possibly even Gardens, for Lijiang in particular, where you can see the Symmetra actually stick around as long as they actually win the fight. So there's a lot of customizable options in terms of the DPS. The tanks we might be seeing, once the teams find their comfort zone, they'll stick with it, but otherwise, there's a good amount of flexibility depending on what these teams want to run. So we're just waiting on everyone to give the R before we get into the game itself, though.
Oh, absolutely. But going into this game, we obviously have JCP versus Paradise Tempest, which not much information is given onto these teams. However, we do know that Paradise Tempest did play in GGNA and ended around last of 3. So obviously this team has a bit of momentum. They played together and they are ready. So really coming out into this point, how do you feel these teams are going to want to approach?
Well, we are on Night Market, which is very heavily favored for the Symmetra strategies, which I hinted to previously. As to what the other DPS decides to play, it could be something like a Mei or possibly a Doomfist. The tanks, I would almost expect to see just the Reinhardt and the Zarya. The Magic Turtle teasing the D.Va briefly, that is also a possibility, but the Zarya is more common here for the very brawl-oriented playstyle that you can allow for. Supports, expect to see a lot of Lucio and Baptiste. That's just the meta right now. I wouldn't expect to see anything else.
Yeah. Though it looks like they Paradise wants to run that Mei, they're going to be able to wall off the enemy team. That'll give them the ability to play a lot more aggressively and look for poke.
And almost immediately, this is going to be basically whichever team can get their teleporter up first, which it looks like.
They're not able to get their TP up. They were a bit slow on the speed boost, so now they have to try and brawl in. These teams have to be a very careful push, because one poke and one mistake that they managed to get the Mei through a random Symmetra beam, and now they're trying to go out of their comfort zone, brawl, the charge missed, now their Reinhardts are both out, Immortality being used to keep them alive. But look at that, Aku is so far out of position, he manages to get picked off, but already Jay is, they have their Rein gone, so now they're having to play a bit more back, but Dry is able to start getting picks. They don't really have the advantage, and the TP is still up for Paradise, so there's literally nothing stopping them from coming back and still winning this point.
Yeah, they have a lot of, a little bit more freedom when it comes to the mobility, just because they have that TP. It looks like Mac will be going over to try and break that now, but in the meantime, the Paradise Tempest can just chill on point and stack up the percentage control.
Yeah, they're going to be throwing out their window, but immediately leaving it. Counter window coming out, but the wall. Fly gets caught in the Mei wall. Now he's going to be blocked up. Sim wall helping to give them space. The Mac is gone. Shatter gets used in the end, and it's not going to be looking like they're going to have any follow-up for that.
No, and it looks like JCP will have to back out for the time being. Some staggers coming in. Yeah, you're not going to get out of there alive. Not a Paradise Tempest has anything to say about it. Now they have a decent amount of ultimates ready and waiting for this upcoming fight. Obviously, you have both tank ultimates. Rigmadon does have that beat, and everything else, yeah, we're starting to see swaps coming in from JCP as well. So I expect them to just take a dry fight here and maybe look for a cheek behind it, but otherwise it's going to be relatively one-sided, if I would have to guess.
Yeah, that's gonna wanna have to be their win condition when they go into the Shatter comes out, manages to get blocked out, wall, Diva Bomb being used. They might drop the wall to do it, but they don't. The High Noon's still out. He manages to get two. Absolutely insane. That's gonna give them the ability because the Reinhardt was out of position. He charged and got lost, and now Mac is just able to start going in. Sure, they've got this at 77%, but they're not gonna be able to hold this point for any longer.
It's really just up to Lars to stall for a little bit of extra percent. They are into one-fight territory with about 86% for Paradise Tempest. Not too shabby for their first hold on this, but who needs an ult economy when you have Kaiser with a 2k with the one ultimate they had, which was the High Noon. And now you have a few ultimates coming up online for JCP, so they should have the potential to hold this upcoming point. I'm not going to say if they're going to win or lose again, because that didn't work out too well last time.
Look at that, the Simwall being used, and Harry is able to get that Mercy. Now they're pushed in. The Blizzard slowing down this push, so now they're not really able to do anything in Paradise Eclipse, looking to just end this fight so fast. That Blizzard was so powerful, and even for this hold, they have about 3 ultimates to defend themselves with.
Yeah, kind of surprised Dryjack held on to that Graviton Surge as they were pushing in. Oh, and Mac getting staggered like that is not good. You want everyone online and ready to push for this final fight on Night Market.
I don't even think they can touch. Their Pharah is gone. Their line isn't able to push out. And it looks like Paradise Eclipse are just going to be able to take this map.
Yeah, Paradise Tempest just played that a little bit better. Obviously, they had the faster teleporter. And that really paid dividends when it mattered most.
Yeah, on this map, it's like so crucial, especially when you want that first crawl, because once you start building up ultimates and you start getting ready into that momentum, the first team is often going to be winning that. And they swapped really late onto that Pharah.
Yeah, that might have been just a little bit of a comfort pick. You know, what they were running wasn't working, so maybe go over to the Pharah, try and make something out of that. Unfortunately, they couldn't really do too much with it. They didn't have the opportunity to. They lost the fight too early once they had control of the point. Here, no real surprises with the composition. Symmetra, Junkrat's pretty standard. Once again, Paradise Tempest taking control of the point a little bit quicker, or at least getting the advantageous positioning and leaving JCP kind of in an awkward spot.
Yeah, they're playing on the left side of point. It looks like they want to fight on the point, make them leave that comfort zone in the server, but they still leave themselves right open. That Ryan charge coming out, and looks like Paradise Eclipse Reinhardt gets booped out of the way. Both Ryan's still living, but their shields are gone. Looks like April is going to be going down. Now the Symmetra is able to just get high charge and start mowing down the enemy team.
Yeah, it looks like Mac might be able to get out. No, never mind. Missed the door. That is unfortunate, but there's just going to be a lot of staggers, and Paradise Tempest building up control percentage once again, first in the round, and they have again a few ultimates. Mew getting a really late stagger there, unfortunate, but I'm sure Rigmadon is rather happy about that one. That's free ult charge.
Yeah, I don't.
A weird rotation here. Oh.
Yeah, look, they want to take that early. Riptide being used to help them engage, but that wall's going to be locking them off from doing anything. And look at that. Kaiser manages to break it, so now they've lost that engaging ability. But now they're coming back into this fight. Met up, Simwall splitting that up perfectly. Immortality being used early to help keep their fight alive with that window up, but they just ignore it. They're just running right in. Shatter comes out. You can get that Zarya, but not even able to pick them off. Only looks like that Reinhardt's going down as Paradise Eclipse easily and confidently take this fight.
Azukari getting a little bit hyper-aggressive, shall we say. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough healing to keep them alive through that, but it doesn't really matter because their team won. They were really the only casualty of that engagement, and they're already back. They didn't really need to worry about anything.
They're already 6. They're coming up on grab. Azu has so much to do and so much room to play with the 2K Fire Strike hitting both of those squishies, and now they're just going to be rolling in. One ultimate off of the team fight. That's what you want to be doing in Overwatch.
Yeah, well, there's not much better feeling as a Baptiste as allowing the Fire Strike to just mow down the opponent as they're coming through the choke point. And they have so many ultimates online. They're in one fight territory once again. Paradise Tempest has a lot of potential to just Full
Look
hold
at
here.
this, X got melted by Max. Shatter comes out. He's able to get it, but he's not able to get any follow-up. And now Kaiser's able to get that Riptide out, manages to get two. Sound Barrier being used to help engage. Max General getting Max. He's not really going to be able to have any follow-up into this next fight. Look at that. We are seeing Large just try to do anything to kind of even up this fight. They managed to get to overtime at 99%. They're really giving up that fight, as well as Magic is going to be escaping with their high charge.
Yeah, and that's really valuable because coming into this next fight, Magic should have probably closer to 40 or so charge, which is not too shabby. Okay, tired.
CX gets the revenge, managing to kill back with the Riptide. Sound Barrier grab. They have so many ults that they can use all of them. Immortality in this last second to keep them alive. Now that window being blocked off, Dry goes down. Magic Turtle giving them the opening, but the Shatter comes out, managing to get Kuz, but he's still unable to get much of a follow. Another Reinhardt having to back out. They're taking these angles. Ryan charging into the backline. Both Ryan's basically going to the defender side. Large getting those picks, and it looks like they're not going to be able to have a full recontest for this next fight. It's going to just be a stagger push.
Yeah, they didn't bother rather to take out Mew, but it doesn't matter because the Shatter from Azukari seals the deal, and that's going to be a 2-0 in Lijiang for Paradise Tempest.
Man, honestly, the momentum, not really the momentum, I want to say more of no, I guess you can't say momentum, but the speed at which Paradise Tempest are playing is astronomical. Look at them. Look at that. Just that play of the game. They use the ultimate first the moment they're walking through that door, and they just allow it. There wasn't really any teamwork or strategizing, it looked to seem, coming from JCP, and every time they went into a fight, they would really rely on using 3 to 4 ults to try to get some value.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like Paradise Tempest just had the tempo of the game locked down to an extreme degree, and it really felt like JCP had a distinct lack of a fight plan coming into most of those fights. It's pretty difficult when the only way they were winning any fights and winning any control of the points on both rounds in Lijiang were basically Kaiser getting a 2K with their ultimates, which is not the best way to rely on a player like that. We do actually have a sub creeps coming in for Dry Jack, so potentially do off tank for JCP.
It's gonna definitely be a different play style, especially with this map pool, because after control we're going straight into Escort, so that's Route 66 or Junkertown. I think both of those have we're going to Junkertown, so I don't even have to talk about the possibilities, because this is heavily a sniper map.
Yeah, it's a completely different look from the TPS we saw in the previous map. Obviously, Lijiang's a little bit more close quarters. Maybe see snipers on gardens, but we didn't get to see Lijiang gardens, so we don't know quite yet. Maybe JCP is sick nasty on the 360 Widow no scopes, so we'll have to find out.
No, absolutely. But I've been loving how Kuz, Lars, and everyone's been playing on Paradise Tempest. They are playing so fast. They're speeding in. They're taking these fights so early. And honestly, when they lose, it obviously looks like it's because through ults we're using, but because they over-aggress and they get caught a bit off guard, but they're stacking together. And to see JCP are going to have to play a lot more carefully if they want to be able to win. They want to play faster. They want to play more decisive, especially on Junkertown, which is a map that I can firmly believe that is easy to get snowballed on.
Oh, definitely. It's particularly hard to stop a snowball until you get to that final straight on third point of Junkertown. I've seen pushes go all the way through and are really never stopping, actually, in Owlets in season 3.9. So there is definitely potential. JCP is going to have to climb that mountain of playing faster, playing a little bit more careful at the same time, being more decisive, which is not easy to do when you're feeling down. This is the first match of the season. This is maybe just first map jitters. Who knows? They could turn around in 3-1 Paradise Tempest, but they're gonna have to play entirely different from what they were on Lijiang. In the meantime, looks like
yeah, we're just waiting for the R. And
yeah.
honestly, yeah. You often see it with most teams. It's map 1, or at least it's a control. There's a common rumor that the worst team can win control. not saying that Paradise is anything bad. They looked amazing. But definitely we can see JCP kind of wake up and be ready as we're going into Junkertown. And already I'm getting excited because this map it's very interesting because of the open fields and because it gives you that liberty to play snipers. I've often seen teams run even Ball Sigma just naturally. it works because there's so many sightlines and open.
It's a little bit out of the main meta, but about, what, 2 months ago that was the main meta that we're seeing in contenders and whatnot, at least in NA. And of course we are NA based for the most part, potentially seeing a pirate ship come out from Paradise Tempest. I'd be interested to see if they stick on this. Of course, they are on attack, so don't get too excited, folks. They have every opportunity in the world to swap still.
Honestly, if you ask me, I firmly believe they run this. Junkertown is very famous for having Bastion comps, or at least protect the president, sort of, as CX stays onto this Bastion. And Lars is on Widow, so he has, they have the sight lines to be able to do whatever they want and look around. It just gives them the freedom to play the game, while JCP, if they're not predicting this, then they have to be ready for that speed boost to run in, or they're just caught with their pants down.
Yeah, the onus is really going to be on MacCub and Kaiser here to put in the damage from different angles on top of that. MacCub, of course, channeling his inner Nero, as we saw from the San Francisco Shock earlier this evening. Nero played quite a bit of Soldier on Ilias mostly, but it actually worked, so it's viable. But oh well, less viable when your Junkrat's dead.
Yeah, and now they have nothing stopping that Junkrat. Look, they already have to start backing up. They're way too scared to take this fight without their main pressure coming in. Now they're going to be rolling in. The bull comes out, pushing them back. Immortality on both sides, keeping them up. But Bastion's just able to sit there and mow them down. A Pre not even able to do anything. Pre's not going down. There's only 3 people on point, but they're not even going to be able to do anything. Just have to retreat at this, time.
No. Six-ish just shooting fish in a barrel at this point.
This is
there you have.
This is not looking the best. They're gonna want to have to make some major switches. Honestly, a Hanzo for instead of Soldier. You want to be able to break that shield, and they're just not gonna be able to do much against this Bastion.
Yeah, no, the card didn't even stop once, I don't think. Sixes, of course, already has the tank configuration. Not even sure if they want to use it right now. Oh, cool, there it is. Spoke too soon.
Yeah, look, they want to take this fight early. They either way, they baited out the Immortality. Now they use Window. They already got Mew. There's no, the majority of healing's gone. The Bastion's flanking, and they go here. Look at that, the charge comes out, manages to get the Bastion, and the Shatter trying to get the res dirty, but doesn't manage to get it. How unfortunate. They're still able to push this payload on the bright side, and it looks like JCP's gonna... Lars getting the pick, but they're still gonna be able to move in. You can't really unrush on a Orisa comp.
There is so much to unpack there with that fight. First off, why flank Bastion? I get the Mercy Pocket, but it's just weird, and it almost worked. And chaotic, and that's what I live for here, honestly. Ira getting a little bit overly eager with the res. You know, you dodged the solo shatter, that was good, but maybe the res was a bit much to ask for.
Yeah, a little dirty, as we're already seeing 2 picks come out. CX switching over to the Hanzo so you can have more range. They're basically double sniper now. I can understand why they ran the flank Bastion, and they've already won this fight going in. Lars has so much line of sight, and nobody's contesting him, that he's just able to click these heads.
Yeah, I mean, JCP are having such a difficult time even pushing into the point. Even without the Bastion, they just don't know exactly how to approach this.
Look at that, Gravitic Flux being used, tossing them in the air. No sound barrier to save them, but Immortality. Sound barrier being used at the end now. They're going to be looking to want to take out this Orisa. Charge coming into the Sigma. Now Apex is right inside him, and they're not really able to save him. Without the Sigma, they don't have much to push. They shattered down, only really hitting the Baptiste, but that's more than enough to kind of end this fight, as the Orisa is just kind of hugging them, and there's just nothing they can do as far as just still manages to kill one when they drop the shield.
Kind of surprised to see Creeps hold on to the Graviton Surge as long as they did, but at the end of the day, they won the fight, and they still have a grab for this upcoming fight, which is pretty good considering the defense has a vast quantity of ultimates to use, as opposed to Paradise Tempest, which don't really have too many quite yet. They're building up to some. I think mid-fight they'll probably have some more to use. Granted, they're throwing them out so much faster than JCP is, so they could probably build them up rather fast too. Okay.
That's not the best. You may have 4 ults, but you've still lost Visor. Now they're brawling in as the shield goes out. Dragon splitting them in, getting that Lucio early. Riptide managing to get 2, and specifically the Baptiste. That's gonna shut it down. The Graviton Surge also getting that Sigma. Labs and CX still able to get these picks. It's only tanks on point. As the Soldier's gonna come back with Visor. Lars still gets the pick. He's gonna go down. They have room to push this point, even if they aren't going to be able to win it.
Honestly, I'm surprised Mac didn't pop the attack visor almost immediately after coming out into the open, but at the same time they are stalling the cart, so he could rotate around a little bit further and find a better position for it, but
yep, the second fight coming in. Bongo, they're gonna ignore. Look at that, the immortality being used just to try to save him inside of that room. Apex managing to get Azu. It's not even gonna matter at this point. Without that Arisa, you don't have a shield, and they just have to back up and give them that liberty.
Yeah, at the same time, if you're Paradise Tempest, you really just want to take, maybe not so much a dry fight, but a less ultimate-intensive fight, because the ult economy now is getting a little bit more even in terms of these teams. You know, once JCP managed to stop the cart, they've been able to keep it closer, relatively speaking. And if you're Paradise Tempest, you want to be able to get more value out of your ultimates, and they're not really doing that right now, so you want to be able to just have more ultimates, you know? Simple solutions to rather complex problems.
Interestingly enough, Ring goes from Baptiste back onto the Ana. That's gonna be less healing overall, but CX makes up for it by getting that Lucio first. No sound barrier. Gravitic Flex coming out. They're looking to shut down that Zarya. Dragon's being used. It almost manages to get Matt, but he's looking to use that visor straight onto the high ground. Now they're just trying to be able to get Kaiser. He's gone. Nobody able to stop them. And that visor is going to have to be used in the next fight as CX is just honestly getting these amazing shots.
Yeah, Sixes doesn't even have to be on the Bastion to light up the kill feed, and it's honestly a sight for sore eyes. It's been a while since I've seen some good old-fashioned Hanzo play. He hasn't been particularly in the meta as of late, but it's great to see.
Yeah, he has 9 final blows right now, and as Hanzo, I don't really expect you to much get final blows, but that's still amazing. We're going to be seeing Paradise Falls actually swap over to the dive. They have more high ground. This might be a change in strategy.
Possibly, yeah, they might be able to bully the Reinhardt on JCP a little bit.
Look at that, the Shadow comes out into the backline, but he's going to be stunned. No follow-up really being able to do. Now they're split out as Priest manages to get it to High Noon in the air. The Immortality barely managing to save Mew, but does get the Lucio. And now they're just able to mow down the Zarya and the Junkrat. And there's just nothing you can do as they're still holding their ultimates. Look at that. We see JCP coming into the next fight with 5 ultimates.
Yeah, the problem is that they've been holding on to these for so long. I think Mac has had his attack visor since second point, unless he built up a new one, and I'm mistaken. But they're holding on to these ultimates for so long to the point where they're no longer valuable because they're already losing the fight. So they need to throw them out there and just find some value. It doesn't have to be a giant 6k team kill, you know, it just has to be something.
Yeah, they managed to get CX, but the res comes out so dirty, so nasty. The Ana sleeping the Reinhardt in their backline, and now they're split. Large gets Mac. Gravitas Surge gets used on the supports, but they only managed to get Era. She may be going down, but the fight's still happening. Reinhardt just going back to the point. It's literally just Magic Turtle sitting there and just 1v1ing them. We're seeing the pause come in. We should see it come in a -second as the Reinhardt's still there. CX is still stood still, but Mac is able to kill him. The unpause comes out immediately after the pause, and now they're just gonna be brawling. The pause back in. All right, we're
we got it eventually. We're not hosting the lobby. The teams are, so we're not scuffed. They are.
No. Something I want to point out from that last fight. Besides from CX standing still while the pause happened, and Mac just takes advantage of it and kills him. I want to say more interestingly enough, if we look on the side of JCP, they used 5 ultimates, and they're only coming back in with 2. Riptire is an amazing ult to re-engage in, same with Sound Barrier, but you really don't have... I don't think Riptire's the best against Dive.
Yeah, it's difficult because there's not too many targets to deal with. I mean, maybe Sixes, potentially Rigmadon if you can find them, but it's not as valuable as it would be for, say, a Brawl composition. So they're going to have to get a little bit creative with the Riptire once Kaiser decides to pull it out. But they do have some time, at the very least, to prepare. Oh, never mind. Well, it looks like Paradise Tempest are ready.
Yeah, and something worrying I want to point out is while they still have this Sound Barrier, Mew's on the Brig. Especially if they stay on that, they have no overall healing, but they're more relying on the picks and the Brawl. And Lars already gets a pick on Mac. That Riptire coming out, it gets 2! And they just don't touch point! So Kaiser's able to get 2 with it and just shut down the fight. So close from a funny capture.
Unfortunate for Paradise Tempest, but at the same time, 0.4 meters is basically the entire map. So even if the card stops there, it doesn't move any further for the rest of the series, then they had a pretty good push. Granted, they of course want to get to that final little bit, and they have so many ultimates, basically 6 coming into this next fight. They can just all press Q at once and probably have good results.
Look at that, Dragon's being used. They managed to get rigged. No Nano coming in, but they're going to be pushing that point. Primal being used. Large man's in shut down Mew. Now they have even less healing for the Brawl. And the Diva Bomb coming out. They're looking to boot that Ryan to get it. And it manages to get creeps. No Zarya into this fight. Kaiser going down. All that's left are the supports on point. Same with the Tracer. But I don't really think you're going to be able to do much in the spawn room as CX manages to shut them down in overtime. Did you see that headshot onto the Tracer? Absolutely immaculate.
I was watching Sixes for the last couple of seconds there. That was nasty. I think Hanzo might be a comfort pick for him because this is ridiculous. Like, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these players are approximately like mid to high plat to like mid diamond on average. So that was a ridiculous play for the elo that we're currently at. That's something that you'd expect out of like Overwatch League. In all honesty, hitting those kinds of shots in that quick succession is just incredible.
That's absolutely amazing. I checked when I checked the sheet. Paradise Eclipse, not Eclipse, but you know, Paradise is about a low plat team. I mean, not low plat, low diamond team average, and they're coming back onto the double sniper, double shield. And as I don't really think that'll help much, but when it comes to Lars and CX controlling these angles, I really feel that every fight they're gonna pick off 2 people before the Reiner can even charge in.
Yeah, it's going to be the difficult part for them, for JCP, that is, on the offense here, because you could play the Brawl, obviously, on this offense, but you have to play almost hyper-aggressive, especially into a bunker, because you need to get on top of the bunker, unless you're going to play a poke Brawl, which actually, it looks like they almost want to be doing here with the McCree and the Hanzo picks. Of course, they can swap it up a little bit, yeah, so they might be playing a little bit of a slower Brawl, but I fear that with the way Lars and Sixes have been playing, that they'll get the better of that poke duel.
Yeah. And look at that! Lars already kills Kaiser the moment they step out, and Mew's gonna be switching over to the back to give them a bit more healing. This is just not the best look for JCP right now.
Oh, we did have Epri standing still on cart with no shield for a second there. I thought that might have been a DC, but nothing was called, so...
Yep, they're still going in. He's staying. They're staying on this point, giving them the respect and not taking these crazy angles and push. But the Orisa's dropped on point. The pull comes out. No much follow-up, but the poke is so much. And look at them take this corner as they're waiting for the enemy to try to speed on them. They want to wait and they want to look for a valley. This poke composition versus the Brawl is played in a very specific way because the bubble goes in and he backs out. They're just kind of saving themselves from any large issues. The Ryan's just playing so passively too, looking to take that flank. They're waiting for the shield to go up. Kaiser managing to get large. That's a massive pick. The Reinhardt decides to flank. He's close to the shatter. The window may come out, but CX gets smacked. He's not going to be able to do much. The Reinhardt just trying to live into the back. He's managing to get CX. Arisa's the only one on point with Mercy boost, but Orisa isn't really the much when it comes to holding the point, as they're having the goal to take that half damage. Mercy goes down. They manage to get Kaiser, but there's no one else who can really do much in the end.
Yeah, no, that's honestly the best case scenario if you're a Brawl playing into the bunker, is getting on top of them like that. Once JCP got to that choke point and Paradise Tempest didn't back up, that was basically a fight when just elongating and stalling for as much as possible if you're Paradise Tempest, and it didn't exactly work in their favor, but they have 6 ultimates, so the second point defense might be a little bit more incredible for them.
Look, they're already using Sights and Dragons at the same time. Gravitic Flux soloed onto the Reinhardt and Kree. They really hate this team and want to end that push, engaging with 3 ultimates. But I don't really think it matters when Magic and CX have used about 5 ultimates in this game. Really, no one on the enemy team has come close to their ultimate usage.
Yeah, definitely. It's up there, and it really shows that when you're able to cycle through your ultimates that fast, it really helps stimulate your team's ult economy and just allows you to find more value, because you're taking more chances, and the odds of them paying off are much higher when you're creating more of those opportunities.
The window gets used, Lars gets max, CX gets Candy with the sights, and now they're just waiting for that window to go down so they can rotate out of the fight. They don't want to lose anyone else.
No, they do have a lot of time on the clock, but they want to try and capture with as much time as possible. So, well, that's not going to help. Lars is continuing to just be a complete and utter menace on the Widowmaker, so unfortunately.
Lars is just taking the off angle on the side window whenever they start rotating, and he's just getting so much value from it. They're not respecting the Widowmaker.
Yeah, and it's so difficult too on this map because it's so wide open. It's basically Widowmaker's playground, in all honesty. The Brawl just decides to go to the low ground and say, yeah, forget the high ground, we don't need that. So let's see what they do here.
Oh, that's a perfect grab. Dragon's being used. Immortality just barely saving them, and they're able to get about 3 picks right now. Lars and CX are flooding the kill feed. That's what you want to see from Overwatch. The DPS is playing absolutely dominant.
Yeah. That's that Graviton unfortunately kind of backfired on creeps. It wasn't a bad grab, but unfortunately the shields were still up, so the lamp was completely behind the shields and still protecting everyone who was caught in the Graviton surge, as well as giving both snipers on Paradise Tempest a reasonably good vantage point to snipe people from. They were killing people while inside the grab.
Look at that, Dragons gets used, gets Kaiser while he was in air, or before the field went down. Shatter goes out, managing multiple of them, but Magic Turtle making this fight even. Mac managing to get Era. Reinhardt looking to get any type of value. They're focusing down the Orisa on point, going down to 33%, but not even going to be able to lift much longer. Magic Turtle still managing to get their Lucio, but the Reinhardt doesn't have any healing, and I think it really matters to see who's alive at the end, because the Reinhardt is not focusing with his team, and now it's CX, and he kills Mac with the knee, and they're staggering creeps on the point. So now they have to wait even longer to go into this next push.
They kind of started pushing the cart, but they left Magic Turtle behind them. That is, Sigma is, oh god, Lars, come on, they have families. But a Sigma is not the kind of character that you want to just ignore while they're behind you. That's such a large amount of damage being pumped into them. And he got like 1.5 kills and opened up the field to stop the cart yet again. Lars, come on.
Why are you pushing? Lars is hungry.
He's still going!
And they're using dragons into this fight and managing to get the rider. And now there's Kree stuck there. And look how much time they've wasted. It takes, what, 10 seconds to respawn and 20 seconds to get back to point. They've basically just wasted 6 seconds.
Lars is hungry. Oh. Almost hit that shot on the Mac. Not quite. Would have been incredible. But regardless, they're still wasting time. We're down to a minute here with, like, what, 3-4 minutes going into this second point?
Yeah, around 3 minutes and 30-something seconds. Pole Bomb comes out, not able to find a pick that. Reinhardt's flanking, looking to get some value. The Orisa going behind. The window being used, Immortality keeping them alive. Lars managing to get Mac while the Reinhardt brawls into the Magic Turtle. He's able to get behind him and kill him with the window, boosting him. And the Junkrat's just there trying to stall for it, but they only have 1 fight left because CX is just ending these fights. It's absolutely insane.
Lars! They can't breathe.
Tracer may be able to come back faster, but that doesn't mean you can kill them.
Oh, okay, this is insane. Like, the amount of crossfire that 6S and Lars are creating here is unreal, and JCP just have no answer to it.
Yeah, look at that. Shatter comes out, hitting everyone, and killing that bomb, though, while the Griffinic Flux slows down their push. Immortality allowing them to kind of stay alive longer. Magic Turtle managing to get that Ryan, but
creeps.
That creeps throws out that Diva Mob managing to get Lars, and the Bat gets red, and now Mew is just stuck inside the enemy backline. The shield blocking most of their damage. They're just trying to push this point. The Riptire from Kaiser. They're unable to really shut it down. He's able to get 3, and honestly, they're going to be able to bring this to the 3rd point now. Kaiser keeping the hopes alive for this team.
Yeah, but they're not going to have a lot of time. Ira trying her best, but there's only so much a non-Valking Mercy can do in that case. Not to say that a Valking Mercy would have been able to get any kills, but probably stall for more time. Non-existent time. Lars looking yet still for more kills.
Oh! Lars! He just peeked! You can't do that!
That's illegal. Oh.
And because look into this next fight, Lars is also shooting Kaiser underneath the payload. So Kaiser's low and has to save it back. Dragon gets used underneath, so Immortality has to be used early to try to save them. And that's not the best because Mew gets flanked and gets killed. And now the Reinhardt is just trying to get some value, but the Sigma's inside of you. You can't do that. You need to fight as 6, not as 1. The bout comes out, same with the sight, so they can help follow up with any kills. And going into this last fight, we're gonna be seeing Baptiste and Lucio.
Oh, that was absolutely insane, and I'm honestly not too sure what JCP can do here, other than just put out Muse window, try and find some pulse bomb of value from Mac, and push past Bridge down window.
That both windows being used, but one team has the better poke. Immortality may be keeping them both alive, but Orisa and Sigma get so much value just throwing into that shield, and now they're walking up to creeps, just trying to, and they demeg before anything can happen, so now Lucio's going down. Diva's gone, it's 10 seconds, Ball has to wait to try to touch, and it's all up to Apri to do anything. And look at that, the touch now going on, looking for down for Clutch being used, man. They grab the ball before the slam, and they kill him before anything happens. Guys are going down, Soundbaiter are keeping the hopes alive, Dragon's being used, unable to find much, but still splitting them up as they're focusing down. Diva demech onto this point, Baptista's trying to do anything and keep his team alive, but jumps off the point, trying to stay there, and as the Lucio, they're basically just hugging each other around, because it looks like Paradise is just gonna be able, you don't get salvation in this world, because Lars is still in the game, and your ball may be there, that Riptire is coming out, it's inside the Immortality, they're just having to touch point, they get off for a second, they're not gonna be able to do anything, guys are coming back now, managing to get Magic Turtle, looking to get that Baptiste, but unable to get much, now going down to the Orisa, and it's over, because you find no salvation when Paradise is here.
This was a clinic of how to play double sniper. In all honesty, like I was hoping for some good sniper play. I was not expecting anything to this caliber, and this was honestly just incredible. Nice retire here from Kaiser to attempt to defend. Did work for that final fight. Yeah. Beautiful double kill there, or actually triple kill, yeah.
This is what I've missed in Overwatch. Such flashy and amazing plays where the DPS feel like DPS. Lars just took the angles, took the risk, and always got paid off. And something that was absolutely amazing was Paradise's Sigma and Hanzo by the end of the map had the same amount of ult usage. And that's just absolutely amazing. Do you know how hard it is to be synced up as a Sigma and Hanzo? Because I think Hanzo charges his ult much faster than a Sigma. But they're always comboing it. They're always working together. And the synergy on this team is immaculate. My head's going to explode.
Yeah, something tells me that Paradise Tempest has been not only scrimming nonstop, but probably scrims significantly higher than what their actual SR is. Like, they're legitimately playing like Masters teams that I've seen, like not even like low Masters either, no, like probably mid to high Masters. Like their synergy is off the charts right now, and JCP is looking pretty dire right now, because if they want to stay in this series at all, they got a reverse sweep.
And absolutely, I mean, what we have a recorded record. Paradise Tempest has scrimmed over like around 342 times confirmed, and like 147 of those they said the word kindly, which is 42% of their messages. So they go in with positive mindsets, ready to just win.
Yeah, well, that is quite a lot of scrims, I believe, in their team card. It says something about forming in 2020. So for a rather short time for the team existing, that's a lot of scrims, and I think it's rather obvious watching them play, especially on Junkertown. You know, like we said before, Control sometimes can be the outlier, but this Junkertown was basically the same as Lijiang in the sense that Paradise Tempest just rolled on through. So it does look like we will be going to a short halftime break, so stick with us, folks. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this Owlet Season 4 Week 1 match between JCP and Paradise Tempest. Thus far, Paradise Tempest up 2-0 in the series on match points already. JCP not out of it quite yet, but they have a tall mountain to climb if they want to reverse sweep Intel. How you feeling so far?
I'm feeling shook. I have goosebumps. I think I got shot by one of the bullets earlier because Lars was basically Q sniping in the entire game. And we're going on Icon Vault next. And I just want to say, CX and Lars, this is a very good map to play the heroes you play. I think we're going for a quick 3-0 here.
Possibly, yeah. Especially second point is a good Widowmaker. Points, third and first point, not so much, but Sixes can probably just stick on the Hanzo the entire time if they feel like it. I don't see any reason not to. It worked pretty well last time. So I would expect to see quite a bit more red in the kill feed, potentially some more blue in the kill feed if JCP can build up their tempo, build up their confidence, play a little bit more decisively.
Oh, 100%. And now we're going to be seeing, look at this, already these brawls are coming out. Mew on the Doomfist, my glasses are open because I don't know how confident we should really be in a Doomfist in this time. I mean, I guess for the rollout, but...
Keep in mind that Mew was the Baptiste up until this point. Kaiser was the other DPS with Mac. So they actually split two players around, so maybe Mew's more comfortable. Doomfist is definitely viable on this map. Oh god, he's going for the Reddit rollout.
Mew's going for the Chipsa move, and as much as it's viable, I mean, I don't feel you have the liberty to try something so dirty against a team that is so confident.
If it works, it works. But then again, Paradise Tempest have just been moving so fast, I don't know if they're going to be in the choke long enough for Mew to actually get... By the time he gets over there, they're going to be gone.
Ah, look at that. Already taking push. They're moved fast.
They're already gone. Look at that.
Yeah, he's already gone. He's trying. He's got Mew. Just lost while they're brawling in. May gets bubbled, managing to back out. Doom punches in, saving himself inside that immortality. Both of them get used, just looking for these punches. That'll be their opening, but the wall comes out, managing to get that right under the charge in, and they get Mew, like I said in the beginning. Against a team so confident, you don't get to disrespect them like this.
Yeah, now they're playing so fast, and that play really is defined by punishing teams who are standing in choke, getting ready to push in. Do have the first tick right there, and a few losses on the side of the offense, but they're going to be back so soon. That's already first point. 5.5 minutes for second point. And I don't see this card stopping anytime soon, as the defense has 0 ultimates. Really the closest one being Mac with the Blizzard, which is a little bit unusual since you normally expect like the Baptiste or maybe the Reinhardt to be a little bit closer. But I guess that's just a testament to how fast the fight was.
You know, I really don't know what to say. We're going to be seeing ultimates come up from Magic, Turtle, and Akuz as the Doomfist slams down, looking for that Lucio, getting that early pick. Slam goes down, moving Lars out of the fight, but still dies, unfortunately. Now the May going down. They don't have much to sign to savor this fight. Don't know if they'll invest in ultimates, but it looks like they are just kind of moving around, looking for picks to stagger the enemy team. Paradise, look, we see Akuz takes out Creep while Candy goes for Lars and finishes them out. Now it's not looking good because he shatters the back. They don't turn around.
Are you kidding me?
And they're just able to bring this fight. Diva Bomb gets used, kills Mew behind the cart. I think he jumped on to the side, and they win the fight when they lost the fight. Excuse me.
How do you let them get away with that? There were 3 people alive, being Ira, Lars, and Azukari. Azukari was underneath the map, 1v1ing creeps. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Comes back out, shatters like 4, and they come back.
Oh, look at that, the slam already coming in. Has to immediately go into his slam. They're gonna be Space Jam, the high noon manages to get 2. Mac going down, but that Doomfist has basically helped them. They still want to try to win this fight as Soundbarrier gets invested. The team split. Zarya in their backline. The Lucio gets moved. Kaiser gets killed. Doesn't matter how many kills the enemy team gets. JCP unable to do much. Creeps now goes down. Mew just trying to find Eddie, and Lars just clicks the head. Lars, you can't do that like that. No. Oh no!
He just does not miss. It's absolutely incredible, and he has a really good understanding of where he needs to be positioning as well to not put himself in danger, while still being able to find the sight lines necessary to find those picks. They still have 5 minutes!
Would you believe this team started out as a gold team?
Maybe a year ago, yeah, but after the amount of scrimming, like I said this, I think off of the break, but I'll say it here as well, these guys play so much higher than what their actual SR is. It's insane.
Yeah, look at that. They get DMX, but that Blizzard comes out. They're going to be able to use that sound barrier to try to help out their Reinhardt. The charge comes in, Immortality keeping them alive, and the Shatter comes out, hitting everyone, and that's finally going to end their push because I don't think 2 people alive can really help them this time.
No, that would be a little bit of folly to invest anything more. If you're Paradise Tempest, you already got the cart where you need it to be for the time being. You have 4 minutes and so many ultimates to work with. The defense is really just trying to build up to their Baptiste Matrix, and that's going to be a little while, maybe a little bit less of a while, with Sixes tossing in the Junkrat mines here and there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Paradise Tempest really just need to look for a good shatter, maybe look for a high noon, probably find a few openings here and there.
Quite interesting that Mew is on Symmetra and Creeps is on Roadhog, because when they go into this fight, they have so much ability to stop them from pushing in with the hook, with the window and TP. It's so much liberty. Hook comes out, unable to find much. Now they take that point. The Reinhardt in the air, looking for the shatter. Hits 2. Bomb comes out, gets that Immortality. High Noon managing to get mad. Now Candy goes down. Large things trying to pick. CX managing to get Kaiser. And now they're just rolling in, looking for that charge, but down for anything can happen. And now Creeps is just trying to live these. Now he builds up a Riptire so fast it manages to break, but the Symmetra uses the window and the wall on point to split them. And the enemy Blizzard gets used. The Diva just trying to help win this fight. They don't manage to kill Era and the and they live. The tree goes down, but the sound barrier is still alive. They still have Reinhardt, catches the ball mid slam, gets Kaiser. They have less healing. You just focus on the Symmetra and you focus down the Lucio and the Lars with the final blows. Absolutely insane. Ray tried to fight the Mew, unable to get much. Still contesting. It's only Squishies on the point as they're just trying to cap this point and stall. Kuz managing to shut them down. The Baptiste Immortality keeping their hopes alive into the stagger as they're now focused down. The remake coming in, looking to get this. Lucio Baptiste still slowing around, going down low, managing to go down as CX manages to get these picks, but they still have the ability to do. They're just looking to build up some ultimates. Mew coming next on, but CX managing to shut them down. The Shatter comes on, he's on top of the payload, managing to get AP. The High Noon also helping to stop Mew from touching the point, and it looks like we're going to see about 2 minutes and 29 seconds on the clock.
Definitely a far cry from the 5 minutes and 20 seconds they had coming into third point, but that's still, quite frankly, a disgusting amount of time. In all honesty, that final stall from JCP could have been just a little bit better. The Blizzard, honestly, was really good for Mech, but unfortunately, they didn't get any kills from it, especially with Ira stuck way behind Cart. And you had Candy for days just on the other side of the pillar. If they'd come around and realized that the Baptiste was there, they could have easily gotten, a few volleys of headshots, easily killed Ira. No one would have been there to heal her up, and that probably would have been the fight, because that window from Ira inadvertently helped further the push and eventually led to the finale of that snowball. Just honestly tragic.
Yeah, we're now going to be seeing Mew switch over to the Hanzo while Paradise runs this double shield, and If you were to ask me, do I respect double shield, I'd say no. I don't feel like it works inside this meta, but they seem to win more fights than not, especially the fact that they're running the Zenyatta. So as long as they're target focusing and they're playing correctly, they'll shut down any push before it happens with so much poke.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be another rough ride for JCP. They're gonna have to play a lot more aggressive and a lot more decisively if they want to play successfully into this double shield, especially with something like a Torb and Lars now on the Ashe. That's a new hero for him.
Yeah, look, just kind of taking in that shield. The slam goes down. Now they're rotating left. They do manage to block off the turret's LOS. But look at that, Kaiser goes down by the dynamite. Now Mew, and they already have to back out. They were just trying to get up, get home, get some milk for the family. The turret's getting 2 kills. Even the children are helping slaughter the rest of them.
It's a family fun event, as it were, as you just have so much damage being pumped in mid-rotation, and JCP just haven't found the ability to push past it. It was a nice idea with the Mei wall, but...
Not on Hanzo, but still sniping out.
Yep,
Look at that. Yeah, even Max switches over to the creep, so he can try and do anything against this type of composition. But I don't know how much you're going to be able to do. They're just poking a little, and just... They look scared a bit, honestly, but while they're waiting for their 6-stack, they're now going in. Creeps does have high charge. That push comes out. Immortality barely keeping them alive. Reinhardt overextends without his team and goes down. You may be able to get Lars, but it looks like they're not going to be able to get anyone else as the push has to be forced back as CX is able to stop them. And honestly, this double shield is looking impenetrable, whatever the word is.
Impenetrable, yes. And one player I want to focus on for the reason for it being so impenetrable at the moment, someone who's not showing up in the kill feed that much is Rigmadon. That Zenyatta Discord orb just helps so much in pumping in a disgusting amount of damage. And if you pay attention, almost every single target that's being killed in the kill feed generally has this little Zenyatta assist icon. So it's a really good target focus on the Discord.
Look at that, they try to go in, Molten Core combo with the Gravitic Flux. They do manage to kill Magitura, but they don't have a Reinhardt to push, and in double shield, you basically lost. They also coomed the escape, so Candy walks into it, and even Creeps has to go onto the high ground and wait inside inside the castle to try to escape.
It's worth noting that, that Paradise Tempest managed to win that fight with basically 2 ultimates. It was just the Flux, which they didn't even get off, and then the Molten Core as it went.
Oh, the Fire Strike! Killing 2, absolutely insane. But Bob, who could forget Bob managing to get 2 picks? Graviton Surge coming out with the Transcendence keeps them alive. Dragons gets used to try to split them up, but they've lost everyone. That's an ult that you kind of want to save or combo, and unfortunately, they've just used it in a lost scenario.
Yeah, this is looking rather dire for JCP. Now they have Shatter High Noon, but they need to land a Shatter, which, if you've ever played Reinhardt against Double Shield, you know that's not exactly easy. The High Noon might be able to create an opening for the Shatter. They want to play that inverse.
Yeah, look at that. They're now pushing in. That Bongo being used to help stop and get a pick early. The turret goes down, and they get Kaiser! That's the pick you want! The Shatter goes down, but they don't get much follow-up. Raid goes down, they have less damage. Max manages to get Era. CX manages to get that Reinhardt, and now they're just focusing down on everyone. Mac, all your efforts gone down to waste as Creeps tries to flank, manages to get the Orisa. They can come in for a stagger fight, but I don't know how well that'll do against CX, who's coming up on the Molten Core.
Yeah, as well as Magic Turtle, probably going to be getting close to that Gravitic Flux. About halfway through the fight, it's again looking rather dire. Candy for Days might have her beat coming into this next fight, but are they going to have the opportunity to really use it?
We'll just have to see as they rotate all the way to the right side of Beyond the Pillar. Molten Core being used, perfectly stopping anyone from trying to push in. It still looks like a bit of the spot is open for them as they melt down the Lucio and they melt down the Rhine, the BAP. There's nobody left. The Dragons gets used, it gets rigged. But that Lucio, but that Zen isn't your issue. And now there's no one to touch point. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Paradise. They are in their world, Tempest. They are ready to win.
That was a dominant showing, and of course this is the first week of games for Season 4 of Owlet, so it's hard to tell exactly if PT is just really, really good, or JCP or maybe towards the bottom of the standings, or both. This really could have been a case of both of those things happening at the exact same time. But it's hard to say, but it's a good statement if you're Paradise Tempest to say to the rest of the teams, look out for us.
I mean, for Paradise, their Sigma had seven ultimates used that entire map. So I want to say that they're playing at an extremely high level, and I will put my hands on this right now. I will bet as much money as I need to. Paradise Tempest is one of the best teams right now. Have I seen the other teams? No, but they looked so amazing. I can't believe if anyone else is like practicing this much to do that. JCP has a lot to work on, but they kind of mess up on a bunch of fundamentals. But overall, I think they have a lot of potential, and they should be able to come back stronger.
Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, we will be taking a quick few minutes break while we set up the interview with someone from Paradise Tempest. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. We have Azukari here from the winning team, Paradise Tempest. How you feeling, Azu, after that win?
Feeling very good, very confident.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine so with rather dominant fashion. So I do have an important question for you is in your team card, it mentioned you guys scrimming quite a lot. Exactly how much did you prepare coming up to this match?
Oh boy. Well, there's a lot of outside of scrim practice that we like to do, such as custom games, but we scrim 5 days a week for 2 hours.
That's impressive, and it shows.
Yes, we love to be prepared.
That is an understatement.
I'm at a loss for words. That is, I see teams cry because they can't get 2 scrims in a week. The dedication on your team, I want to give you like a round of applause for that. That is absolutely amazing.
Thank
And
you, thank you.
and that kind of goes into my question is like, because you guys scrim so much, uh, like, do you think that helps with your synergy, your planning, and just overall your commitment into these matches?
Oh, for sure. With the rigorous schedule, we really have to make sure that we're on our game, right? We're all ready and we're all super prepped. Our whole team is full of dedicated players, really looking to get better. And I just want to say we couldn't have done it without our team manager, Sussing. He's kind of the goat.
Definitely. Now, in terms of what you guys actually played, interestingly enough, despite the meta being more like brawl oriented as of late, maybe a little bit of double bubble here, you guys played a decent amount of double shield. Was that something that you were planning on doing coming into this game, or is that something that you kind of realized your opponents were weak against and kind of stuck with it?
Well, prior to this match, we like to do a rotation of, things like dive, things like brawl, and then things like double shield to make sure we're completely versed on all comps. So going into the scrim, we were kind of expecting, with these maps being a little bit more brawl oriented, that there was going to be a lot of brawl. So we found it optimal to play that double shield.
Well, it
Uh,
definitely worked.
yeah, a lot of respect. And I guess really my last question is, what is your real predictions and hopes for like as you continue to go on? Because I would say you guys had an amazing and most likely one of the strongest starts of the season. So, like, how do you think that's going to affect you guys going on into the future?
Well, we are a very dedicated team, so I think we can win a whole ton. If we lose a couple games, we won't be surprised, and it'll just motivate us further.
All right. We do have one last question for you, and then afterwards you can give any shout outs or social media, whatever's that you want. So, are there any particular teams that you do want to face going into the next couple of weeks?
Well, it's a little early to decisively say who I'm really excited to go against, but yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye out for the competition, man.
Well, I think literally every other game besides the one rescheduled for Sunday is still going on, so you could probably check
Yeah.
the streams. So, if you have any other shout outs that you'd like to give or whatnot, the floor is yours.
Alrighty. Just follow my Twitter at Azukari2 and follow the Paradise Tempest Twitter at Paradise Tempest Lost.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. We'll let you get back to your team and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Alrighty. Have a nice day, or a nice night, I should say.
Too. Well, that's all we have for you for this game, at least, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Owlet Season 4, Week 1 match between JCP and Paradise Tempest. Paradise Tempest taking it 3-0. I would recommend go checking out any of the other 3 streamed games currently going on right now, as I'm not sure what the score lines are, but I know they're still streaming. So there's probably more good Overwatch to be viewing there. I've been Acronator on color casting, username Intel on play by play, and Silence Marine on production. Have a good night.
Mm.